Welcome to Cartier Manor. Mr. Cartier has asked me to take your coat and direct you to the dining room where you'll be served drinks and then dinner. I believe that Mr. Cartier has quite the evening planned for you. Please feel free to wander and admire this fine home. Marksman will bring you in and then escort you to the dining room, and baby will be serving cocktails. If you need anything, just ask.
Hey, Bobby, take my coat. I've got to change and get rid of this nail polish stain on my clothes.
My name is Robert, not Bob.
Baby will take your beverage request, and Evie will have your hors d'oeuvres for you presently. If you need anything, I'll be standing at my post, minding my own business.
What's your pleasure?
A greenberry is second to no one. Champagne, my dear?
Of course, my darling. Remember, my precious stomach can only handle Dom Perignon.
Yes, of course.
Oh, darling, meet my hairdresser, Jacques Max. He does marvelous things with my hair.
You're such a lucky woman to have a husband with a full head of hair like this. You know what it do to have a man with hair like this?
Had a little private track last weekend.
My horse pulled up lame. I lost hundreds. I just got out of the red and here I am again.
I fear, Bill's here. I got your back. I got a horse right here. His name is Paul Revere. And he can do. Now let's say Bill covers you for $2 grand. You place the bet and split it with me 60-40. However, something goes wrong.
What's wrong? Nothing.
Good boy. Deal.
Deal.
You know, child, with the Lord in your life, evil will run away and hide.
I have no evil, just a dark side. I've never hurt anyone. I just write about those who do.
Well, child, that's nearly as good as being the devil himself.
What's your pleasure?
I like a bit of wine, holy wine. Like Jesus himself said, when you are drinking this, you are drinking my blood.
Sounds like something from one of my novels. I like some very dark burgundy, dark and thick like blood.
You need Jesus, child.
Dinner will be served very shortly. All is ready and warming. Evie, did you get the pan of borscht Henry asked me to bring? That was yours? I should have known.
What do you mean?
Vanilla milkshake! It was so sterile. Und by the book. It begged me for flavor. I gave it some of Evie's special stuff.
You changed my time-honored recipe to suit your taste? Why you?
Patsy! I ought to tell.
I have a double on the rocks.
I see dead people!
Shut up. Hey, my name's the Golden Child, because everything I touch turns to gold. How about after a party, you can come with me and I could turn you into a precious metal.
Nice try.
Yo, mama!
Shut up before I bust one off for you.
Dinner is served. Please find your places. Mr. Cartier will be here presently.
Oh, my dear, are you okay?
Oh! Interesting.
Oh, Jesus.
My God, it's Henry. Henry Cartier. This is horrible. The poor,
Man, I can't believe this could happen.
We must call the police. Hold on there, brother. I don't get along so well with the po-po.
What do you mean, hold on? A man has been viciously murdered. The authorities must handle this. Unless you have something to hide.
Poor Mr. Cartier. He was such a good man.
His hair looks nice for a dead man.
Everyone hold it. A man has lost his life here. Now, we should be a bit more respectful of that man. We must call the police, then pray for this man's life.
Dead.
Yes, child, we know.
No, you idiot, the phone, it's dead.
Yes, you child. They say the Lord works in mysterious ways, but I just don't get this one.
Have any of you called the police?
The phones are dead.
Am I surrounded by idiots? Don't any of you have cell phones? I'll call. Police? To whom am I speaking? Officer O'Malley, there has been a murder, a gruesome murder at Cartier Mansion, 312 Morningstar Boulevard. Who am I? Why does it matter? I didn't do it. Yes, I am Miss Chloe Cartier, Henry Cartier's only child. My father's been killed. You'll have someone here right away? Please hurry.
Interesting. This man invites you to dinner, and he serves himself as main course. Are you getting this? I think it's best that we move away from this carnage.
The library, sir?
Of course, the library. Please, everyone move slowly and quickly to the library. You check out the kitchen. I'll take these people to the library. See if you can find the rest of them. Since we've determined that Mr. Cartier was alive and breathing before all of you arrived, it is now my job to figure out who the culprit is and why the committee of the seniors come.
It's awful.
What is it, miss?
It's awful.
That's my line. What is it, Miss Sherlock?
I found him, or what's left of him.
Baby, let Golden Child give you a golden touch. What's up?
It's not that awful. I found him, or what's left of him.
Where, Mr. Sherlock?
Part of him is in the meat locker. Part of him is in the fridge, and his foot is sticking up out of the garbage disposal.
Foot sticking out of the garbage disposal? Too cool. I've got to use it.
Quiet, all of you sit and be silent. The only way to solve this crime is to ask each of you what you were doing here. You first.
Me? My name is Tony Alberst, and as some of you might know, I was once a client of our very fine late host. I was invited to the dinner party because we had developed such a close relationship during our meetings. Ever since I was just a small child, at the age of 5. Kill him! I had this disorder called Tourette's syndrome. Every once in a while, I get the sudden urge to just shout out various phrases that I have recently heard or thought. Sometimes I quote movies, order takeout, or just plain scream my ABCs. So anyways, at dinner, kill him! I arrived at the mansion a bit early. I like to impress people with my promptness. Spaghetti! Well, dinner was not ready, and we were told to wander around this beautiful home. I was wandering into the first floor study when I heard voices upstairs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G! I crept up the stairway and heard the servant's voice talking to another woman, a voice I couldn't identify. The woman was talking about chopping something. At the time, I thought she was referring to the duck, which was to be served with dinner. Boy, was I misinformed. She went on to Kung Pao chicken, go into gruesome details of cutting up a person and leaving bits of that person strewn all over the eating and cooking facilities of a mansion. Then, I saw the servant and the woman, who was dressed completely in black, I might add, exit the room and head toward the dining area. So I went into the room to investigate what the woman was talking about. I found a manuscript that described a murder at a dinner party and the details the woman had been speaking of. That's when I got scared and suspicious. I returned to the dining room where the rest of the guests had collected while I was out around the mansion. But one of the guests stood out. It was Parkrose, the woman I had seen upstairs. The one dressed all in black.
Very interesting, Mrs. Alberst. Now, how'd you know duck was on the menu? And did you kill Mr. Cartier? Were you in the kitchen with a knife, chopping his body up?
No.
Detective, could I speak to you for a minute? They all received an invite, and on this said invite, it gave a menu. Duck was the main course.
I knew that. I was just trying to catch them making a mistake. Who next?
My name is Reverend Mary Savior. I arrived a little after the Greenberries.
I saw Mr. Greenberry go into the art hallway. I followed because Mr. Cartier had told me about a piece of artwork that he wanted to donate to my church. While I was noticing the painting on the wall, I overheard Mr. Greenberry arguing with someone, but I didn't know who, so I just ignored it because I'm not the kind of person to be in other people's business. I found a painting that Mr. Cartier wished to donate, and it was a magnificent Van Gogh. By the way, that's why I think Mr. Greenberry killed Mr. Cartier, because he wanted that painting for his collection of Van Goghs. But I heard Mr. Cartier tell him no and said he was donating it to my church. Praise the Lord. However, Mr. Greenberry would not take no for an answer. He kept raising his price, and Mr. Cartier kept refusing. Thank Jesus. Anyway, I heard the arguing, and then some crashing noises, and then loud footsteps, and Mr. Greenberry strode out of the room and darn near ran me down. I guess he was starting to see me standing there because he jumped and tried to adjust his clothes and hair, both of which were just awful. Then he turned and quickly strode in the opposite direction, the way from which he came.
You followed this man in the hall and tried to pin the case on him, Mr. Greenberg.
In order to make money, they would have to sell the painting. Are you going to sell the painting, Reverend?
No, we are not. It's a heavenly picture, one that represents our Lord.
So without selling the painting, the church doesn't really have the money or the motive what you're trying to pin on them.
I knew that. Just testing. You, Vito Mastrolli, next. What are you doing here and what do you know about this crime?
You calling me out like that? Just because I am connected, you think I am the killer. Man, you cold. I know very little about this crime, but I do know what I saw, and what I saw was. I saw a smart chick, the professor, head into the kitchen with a covered dish. The edge of this dish was stained red, and the jacket this chick had was also stained red. It looked like blood. I was near the kitchen because we were told to wander around and check out the mansion. Business dealing I had with Mr. Cartier and his butler. A little action aside, you know what I mean.
That may be the only true statement he's ever said in his life.
I agree, Detective.
You, rat boy, you're next. What is your name and what do you know about this terrible crime?
My name is Golden Child. I was invited because the host wanted me to flow and hear me perform before he threw money my way. Bobby the butler told us to wander around Mr. Cartier's crib.
I was checking out the place. I heard gunfire. I did put out my knife and hid behind the couch. Some bullets started heading towards me, so I emptied my clip in that direction. I heard someone shout, "Kill him, kill him," and I was running down the hall. I ran into my man Vito, and we jetted into the dining room, but not before we heard another tat, tat, tat. When we got to the dining room, everyone was there except the host.
The number of gunshots in the kitchen would explain the blood everywhere. Did you see what was firing at you? I need to see your weapon, please.
Sir,
What is it this time?
Mr. Cartier was stabbed and dismembered. There was no evidence of gunfire. There was no shell casings or bullets in the walls. He's lying. Don't you realize that?
That's why I'm here, to make sure they don't make any mistakes. That's why I don't want you to mistake it when I tell you to sit down and be quiet. You, lady in black, you're next. What is your name and what do you know about this crime?
My name is Alejo Cross. I am a writer. I have known Henry since childhood. We were very close. His death has practically ripped my heart out.
Can you tell us what you saw and who you think may have done this?
The sun had just set beneath the horizon, and there was this mysterious chill in the air. The butler greeted myself and the others and bade us to enter the home. He took our coats and invited us to wander about the mansion until we were called for dinner.
I witnessed a young woman treating the butler very badly, being rude and disrespectful. She had a spreading blood-red stain on her clothes. She bad-mouthed the butler and ran from the room with the look of someone who had something to hide. The light was dim and shadows crept along the halls as I made my way to the dining room. As I entered the dining room, I saw a wealthy-looking couple and some sort of man conversing in a corner, while a small group of dark figures whispered suspiciously in the corner. A reverend named Mary Savior tried to save my soul at the very time that my old friend Henry was having his life essence stolen from him.
Now I know she's Henry's daughter. The butler tried to shield her from the terrible sight. The construction of this murder is very cool. I might have to use it in a book sometime. It is tragic, but cool.
So you tried this murder on and took it for a spin to see if it works and you could use it in a novel. You did it, didn't you? Your dark clothes reveal your dark intentions. I'm keeping my eyes on you.
Sir, she arrived after some but before others. She was never near the kitchen and pantry where the crime was committed. Look at her. She couldn't cut a carrot, let alone Henry Cartier's head off his body.
Did you ever think that maybe I make mistakes on purpose to deflect incompetence from myself to others? You, smart chick, you're next. What do you know and what did you see? Come on, fess up.
Well, I have run the calculations and scenarios through my mind, and I have concluded that it had to be Tony, Miss Albers. As I came through the massive front doors, the butler took my coat and informed me that I was free to wander the premises until they rang for us. Well, I had brought a dish that Henry especially liked and had asked me to make because we were in gourmet club together. So I thought that I would first take my pan of borscht into the kitchen and then mingle.
While I was walking down the hall toward the kitchen, I heard someone shouting, "Kill him, kill him!" Then I heard a loud struggle followed by several crashing sounds. I was frightened and I couldn't think, so I began to run towards the kitchen, spilling my borscht everywhere, I might add.
Then, after hearing Mrs. Albers shout the same words, I set forth on some mental deduction. After calculating the decibel level and dividing it by the echo reverberation, then multiplying by pi, then subtracting the time since the occurrence, it's really quite simple, you see. The answer to the equation is Mrs. Outburst.
Please see you.
Yes, sir?
Did you understand any of that?
Not really, sir, but I think she's telling the truth. It's too complicated to make up.
Besides, it would be too hard to explain this back to the person. You, hairdresser boy, you're next. What do you know?
My name is Zoc Max, 2 X's. I'm a hairstylist. Here's my card.
So you own your own place?
Oh yeah, that's a quaint little place on the east side of town. Right now, I have a special where you can get a full set of nails for only.
Do I look like the kind of man to get his nails done?
If you don't, you should. There's nothing unmanly about a healthy set of nails.
Anyways, Mr. Max, what do you know or what did you see or hear?
I didn't see anything. I only heard an incriminating conversation.
Well, I was trimming this ripped old hag's hair when she received a call from her sugar daddy. As if, anyways, she's supposed to pick up a gift for this party tonight. A cutlery collection of fine steak knives. Her honey bunch is supposed to pick them up from the store, have them wrapped, and brought to the party. I knew right then that something smelled fishy. As I was cleaning my supplies, I saw in the mirror a little suspicious smile on her face, and I knew she was up to no good. After I gave her the usual trim, dye, and nail job, she left without giving me a tip. It was so oddly bizarre. I didn't understand it. I realized that something was not right. But I kept it to myself as I put on my favorite lip balm and read the new issue of YM.
I'm sure she's the killer. That died, fake nailed old hag. Oh my god, she did it!
Unless that Mrs. Greenberry did it. You think this because you were eavesdropping in her conversation. This is the same woman that fanned earlier this evening.
Yes, I do. And I think you can throw out all the other evidence. The spilled soup, my gloves stained in red, the odd sounds and shouting. She had the knives and her husband and the motive. They are brutes and human killers. Help us.
You think we should toss out all the evidence and believe you? Even if you do have beautiful nails. What about the evidence that is yet to be discovered?
Yeah, what about that evidence?
Yell at me. I can't handle being yelled at. I don't know what to do about the other evidence. I know that I heard and saw what Mrs. Greenberry and her husband talk about, and they killed Mr. Cartier.
Out of your constant interrupting, how do you think that your opinion helps solve these cases? Anyways, you're next. Why are you here and what do you know about this crime?
What?
Don't play innocent with me. Why are you here?
The reason why I'm here is because I'm an assistant detective. You can call me an apprentice of sorts, on-the-job learning. I need hands-on experience for my training, and it looks good on a resume. I was always the top student in my class. I despise bad grammar, and I feel obligated to correct you and make you a more observant detective. Analyzing things is a habit of mine. I'm a perfectionist, so overlooking clues I take as a personal slight. I know I can do better. I came to this crime with you. Right now, everyone is a suspect, including you. So if you'll kindly remove your foot from your mouth where it has been feeding during this whole interrogation and shut up so you won't make any more mistakes, I can solve this crime, you can look good, and then retire. Understand?
Yeah?
Good. Now sit down. That'll keep you quiet. Now, Miss Cartier, it seems as if you're the last one to testify.
Like, Daddy sent me this totally fancy invitation to some little dinner party at his humongo mansion. Well, like, I guess he was totally trying to suck up to me because we got into, like, this totally whacked out hissy-fissy. So I was like, whatever, and walked out. Well, I guess he missed me, and that's why I got that dumb invitation sent by snail mail. I mean, come on, that's what email's for. Okay, anyway, so I get to my daddy's house, and his butler escorts me in like I don't even know my own daddy's house. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I walked into Daddy's mansion to join all of Daddy's little friends. But as I entered, I noticed there was a red nail polish stain on my Armani slacks. My dry cleaner is so gonna pay for this.
So I walked to the main southeast restroom. It's just off the entrance. I would have been in and out in a matter of seconds, but like this totally weird dressed guy was very slow and wasting my precious time. It was totally weird because he was like washing and cleaning this collection of scissors. When he finally got out of my way, I walked in and saw like these rubber gloves all stained a bloody red in the trash can. Gross! At first I was thinking like, what the heck was he doing here? But then I went back to cleaning my pants and forgot completely about it. Then I went back into the dining hall and Daddy's butler came up to me and was like, Miss Cartier, we have some disturbing news. Your father has been murdered. I was like speechless.
Butler continued. He was like, well, this may not be the time to bring this up, but your father left you everything in his estate. Then I was like, oh my God, this is like so totally tizzy. Although I was kind of disappointed that my daddy was like dead, it was awesome that I was going to be so totally rich. I wondered like who could have murdered him, and then I remembered that guy in the restroom, the bloody gloves, cleaning the scissors. That so screams murder to me.
When exactly did the butler tell you about your father's will?
I told you already, shortly after I found out about my father's death.
While you were still in the dining room?
Of course. Do you think I'd go anywhere else with Bobby?
This has been a very interesting evening spent with you fine people. Each of you have placed evidence upon one another. Each of you could have committed this crime. However, there are some inconsistencies, and these lead to slip-ups and arrests. Miss Cartier? Do you know how much your late father's estate is worth? Guess. 10 million, 5 million, 25 million? How about $32.5 million?
$32.5 million? $32.5 million? Why, you cheap and considered slut.
How much did she pay you, Jack? 50,000? 100,000? Come on, Jack, not nearly enough for a murder.
You don't have to tell her, Jack. Really, you don't.
I don't?
Don't, Jack, please don't!
See, Chloe, she's talking why I slit his throat with my best pair of clippers, and Lizzie Borden over there went nuts. She grabbed the meat cleaver from the butcher block and started hacking, yelling at him while she was hacking. It was horrible. I was aghast.
Book 'em.
May I say it, sir?
Okay, but just this time.
Take them down to headquarters and book them. Murder 1.
Thank you all for coming, and thanks for your help. You were all free to leave, though, although you were probably brought to be testified on trial. Thank you and good night.
That was the first part of it.
Oh, Detective, about what happened earlier, I'm sorry, I was out of line. I just saw the investigation slipping away.
Hey, don't worry about it. And another thing, I like the way you took charge back there, gained command. You know, I could use a take charge type of girl in my life. You know, take charge of the laundry, the dishes, the housekeeping.
Detective, you're under arrest. That's harassment.